All right, all right. So, first, I want to thank everyone who is tuning in right now to the official Boss of Self. Do you have an entrepreneurial mindset? Okay, I'll be your host. My name is Jamila Lari, and I'm going to make this brief and short and kind of cut straight to the chase here. We're going to try to just jump in and jump right in. Jump right in. So, a little bit about my background. I am the founder and owner of My Biz Consulting, which was my first company that I actually started sometime in 2010 when I was laid off from work and decided to take the skills that I learned at my particular career, my particular job, and make them into a career. Excuse my background noise. I am sitting near the window on a holiday weekend. It's the 5th of July. So, yesterday we had the block was having a lot of fun. So, we're still having a lot of fun around this area. So, needless to say, I want to jump in and get started. I want to begin a series um, based on who I am and what I do. I'm an entrepreneur with an entrepreneurial mindset. And what that is something that I'll actually go over and explain throughout the video to find out and help you identify if you have an entrepreneurial mindset. Being an entrepreneur is not for everybody. I repeat, it's not for everybody. A lot of people get fed up with work or their day job and assume that they're entrepreneur, so they're going to start their own business. And unfortunately, that's not always the best answer or the best decision to make. So I wanted to share this tutorial or webinar with you to kind of give you a little bit of a mindset to help you either develop your mindset or identify your current mindset as to if you actually have an entrepreneurial mindset. Like I said, it's not for everybody. It's something that I guess I can say you're born with, but you can hone yourself into this. If you work a 9 to 5 job, this is something that I would say may interest you, and you can do it. It's not something that's far fetched. So I talk my way into the entry. It's 10 p.m. As promised, I'm ready to get started. So let's jump in. Boss of self, do you have an entrepreneurial mindset? Okay, the first question is, do you have an entrepreneurial mindset? This is the question that you want to ask yourself before jumping into starting a business. Am I an entrepreneur, or do I prefer working for someone else? That's not always a negative. I think we're forced to believe that, oh, when you work for someone else, that's a negative. It's not a negative per se. You can either have an entrepreneurial mindset or not. And there's a list of things that it takes to determine if you are an entrepreneur. Everybody's not an entrepreneur. If we were, then there we would have no one working for us, bottom line. So let's talk a little more about that. So I wanted to start with, have you ever thought about starting your own business, but stuff, and I do mean stuff, like I think most people say shit happen where it just get in your way, and you, it's like you can't get it done. So there are several ways that I've put together here to tell you if you have this, I quote, entrepreneurial mindset. There are just as many ways to clear the road to becoming an entrepreneur. Okay, so if you feel like you don't qualify with any of these things, don't disqualify yourself. That's not always 100% true. These are just some personality traits that I wanted to put together and share with you guys. Like I said, shit happens, and you may give it your all and you put all these things into it and it just don't work out. It happens. So staying clear of stuff. Stuff gets in your way. It happens. But consider these personality traits, leadership qualities. You want to ask yourself, do I have the leadership qualities that it takes? And how do you know this? Are you a manager or just a natural born leader in your position that you're in right now? Do people come to you for leadership? Are you a natural born leader? Or do you have the qualities to becoming a good leader and just never had the opportunity? These are some of the things that you want to maybe go through, evaluate, and write down. I'm a firm believer of lists. So start making your list and gathering your leadership qualities, because this is important. And this is not for you to report to anyone, but it's for yourself. Are you a creative thinker? Creative thinking comes with being an entrepreneur, because you have to be able to think outside the box. You got to have a product or a service or thing that you have that you're offering to people in order to get to the end all be all. You have to have something in place there to it's creative enough for people to be attracted to it. A feeling that there is something more that you should be doing. I mean, are you like in your current job and you're like, hey, I could do, for me, I'm like, hey, I can do webinars, I can do trainings, although I do IT, like, is there something more that you want to be doing? And can you implement these things right into your role in your career now as just simply practice? This is how it starts. This is where it starts. Do you have innovative ideas? Having innovative ideas, I mean, are you a creator? Are you an innovator? Can you make things better? Okay, owning a business, being a CEO or entrepreneur, you want to make sure that you can make things better, because no matter what you come up with, put out, whatever service it is, you want to continue to make that service better. So having innovative ideas, or at least knowing someone that has them, is a key part of being a leader or entrepreneur. Okay. So these are things that I wanted to share with you, to get started. So I'm not saying just cut out right now, because if you don't have these traits, it's not going to happen. That's not what I'm saying. But definitely consider 1 to 3 of these personality traits before you consider yourself an entrepreneur. It's not an easy task. It's not something that you can do. You have to have also a lot of discipline. But we'll get into more of that a little farther along. So, if you show any or all of these qualities, you could very well be on your way to owning your own business, because you do have that entrepreneurial spirit. Listen, having an entrepreneurial spirit does not mean that, hey, you should be a business owner. But it does mean that this is something that you can do, that you have the ability to do. I mean, hell, I didn't know I wanted to start my own business. Actually, I was forced into it because I needed to make money. I was laid off of work, and the unemployment that I was receiving was just not enough. So I offered services that I learned at my previous employer to people that I knew would actually could benefit from them while I was not working and I was home looking for a job. So that's how I got started. And I believe that that's how most are kind of forced into it. But if you have something that you're doing on the side for, say, a hobby or a craft, something that you really enjoy, then you probably have that entrepreneurial spirit and you should take the next step forward. Okay, success and failure. Now, I love this picture here, because there are 2 roads. There are 2 roads, and I believe we don't always go down the right path. But it's not always failure. Sometimes we feel like we went down a path of failure. But I think if it was up to me, I would add another arrow to this, which I may, and lessons, because I think we get a lesson. It's a lesson learned, but it's not success nor failure. So let's talk more about that road to success, because that it exists, and you need to know how to clear the road toward entrepreneurial success. There is a road that you should be taking, and there is a way to get there. So let's talk a little bit about that road and how you get there. I want you to take out a pen and a piece of paper, because here's the part where, take some notes, write some things down. This is the part where I share with you how to get there. I mean, the entrepreneurial, that road, that road to success is not an easy road. There are trials and tribulations. You're going to be stressed out. You're going to have to give up some things. You're going to have to put off some things. Sacrifice is key. So remember, sacrifice is key. It's not one of the things that people prepare themselves for properly. But I want you, as you watch this video, to prepare yourself that sacrifice is key. You have to give up some things. Hell, I don't want to give up anything. I'm like, you know what? My relationship's going to be perfect. My kids' lives are going to be perfect. My office environment is going to be perfect. I'm going to grab no time. I'm going to be able to, I'm going to be able to quit my job and make $1 million by tomorrow. And it just don't work like that. Okay. It doesn't work like that. And I stress this to so many people who say, hey, I started a business. I'm an entrepreneur. And this is my end all be all. I'm going to make all this money and I'm going to travel and do all these wonderful things. And then months later, they're like, they've given up because it didn't work out as planned. And it doesn't always work out as planned because we don't have our ducks in a row. And a lot of us, we can't get loans for the type of business that we want to own, or grants that aren't available. And there are lots and lots of loans and grants available, and we'll get into them in another slide, or actually we'll get into it in another webinar. But this is the series of part one of identifying who our entrepreneurs are. So therefore, I don't want to waste your time with a bunch of webinars that aren't for you or based on what it is you're trying to do with your life. I'm big on time, so I don't waste a whole bunch of time. I don't do 2 to 3 hour webinars. This is about a 20-minute webinar where I'm going to talk to you and give you the keys to toward the road of entrepreneurial success. So let's jump in. Like I said, I hope you got your piece of paper and pencil handy. If you look at the next slide here, you'll see that I have the laptop and the iPhone and the iPad and the coffee and the pencil and the laptop. This is the transition. This is what I call from the 9 to 5 grind to working for yourself. How is it done? So many people say, you know what, I'm so happy I came by your house and I seen that you had your office set up and you're working for yourself. Is it realistic? Can it be done? And I tell people, hey, I still work another job. And I do that for various reasons because that's the money that I use. I refuse to take out a loan. And what I do is called bootstrapping. And I invest my money into my business. Now, everybody can't do that. It takes a lot of dedication and concentration is my key words. So that's another thing I want to address. Going from that 9 to 5 grind to the entrepreneurial spirit may not be the easiest path, but it is something you can achieve. I repeat, it is definitely something that's achievable. However, there are several steps you need to take before going on this business venture, taking on a business and becoming a business owner. There are things that you need to do. I'm going to share those things with you in the next 10 minutes here. Step one, I'm going to go through and tell you, I'm just going to keep it simple. I call it keep it simple, stupid. And I'm just going to just go through step by step the things that you need. It's not rocket science. It's not a whole book or a webinar that you need to sit through that's going to take 8 to 10 hours. No, 10 minutes. I'm going to tell you what you need to do. Okay, just to get started. This is not your whole plan and everything. This is the get started. This is for the people who are sitting there in their living rooms or on their phone or in their car listening to this webinar saying, hey, I want to start a business. I think I have an entrepreneurial mindset. This is what I want to do. How do I get started? Okay, so let's move forward. I first need you to get clear. Okay? Getting clear on what it is you want to achieve is your first step. Okay? That is the first step to becoming an entrepreneur. It's not as simple as coming up with an idea, writing it down, oh, I know what I want to do. I have my goals and my thoughts. But you have to break all of those things down. Everything is a process. So you need to I need to know, or your reader, yourself, whoever you're writing this for or with, you need to be specific as to what it is you're going to do. And this is not an option. This is not something you can or can't do. These are mandatory requirements that's needed. You need to be very clear and concise. Be very specific when it comes to starting your new business, about your goals. What are you going to do? How are you going to do those things? Okay. So this is just step one. This is step one. This is the first thing that you do to begin this process. Am I an entrepreneur? You get yourself a book, a small book, and write your first page. Am I an entrepreneur? You get things together. Get clear. What are my goals? What are my goals? So goal setting. I love journaling. I always recommend journaling to all of my clients because once you write it down, it becomes your Bible. It becomes your written scripture. You made that promise to yourself. So get yourself a journal and write these things down. Get clear, okay? Get clear on what you want to achieve. That's the first step. Step number two, before I bring it up, I'm going to say create yourself a plan. And no, I don't mean a damn business plan. Every time I say a plan, people get started in creating these wonderful business plans. They hire people to write business plans for them, but they have no idea what they're going to do with their business. So before you go any further, the second thing you need to do is to create a plan. Once you are clear on what your goal is for your new business, you have to create a plan for success. You should call this your success plan, my plan of success, something in that nature. Keep it short, keep it simple. Do not write a business plan for your idea, not right away. You're not there yet. Write down what your goal is, how you will achieve that goal, in smaller steps. You need to break that list down even further. If you don't, you're going to be missing something. You have to break that list down. Continue to break these lists down over and over again until you are very, very clear on what your plan is, and you know what it is that you need to do, how to get there. Okay? Next is taking action. Okay, a lot of people, they have the wonderful ideas. They want to get started. They have this awesome business idea, and this is the step that I find that most entrepreneurs take first. They take action. And it's not about taking action first. If you don't have the last two things in place, nothing else will work for you. Bottom line, it's just not going to work for you. So make sure that you create your idea and you create your plan, and next you take action. So take action. It's time to take action steps, okay? Action steps need more than just thinking about them. So don't sit and say, well, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this and do this and I'll probably do this and then I could do this and maybe this and this. No, no, no. Declare out loud to everyone you can that what your action steps are. And this way you are accountable to your own word. Write it down in your journal. It's important. Make it your Bible. Make it something that you live by, because this is how you get things done. Okay. And this does work for everybody. There's no I's and U's here. This works for everybody. It's an end all be all plan to success. You take action now. Okay. You have your plan. You have your goal. You know what you need to do. Now it's time to take action. Okay. Delegate. Oh my goodness. I'm going to eat a peppermint because I've had the biggest problem with this. I am probably the Mona Lisa of non-delegation. Um, yes, right. A big art piece of paper on the wall or something. Delegate. Okay. We don't, entrepreneurs do not know what this word means because we want to get everything done ourselves. We don't trust anyone but ourselves. And yes, we forget to delegate. So I'm going to stay on this one for a minute because it's important. This is one of the most important steps in getting to, succeed as an entrepreneur. Delegate. If you're starting a new business of your own, do not be afraid to delegate tasks. Even if you do not have a business partner or associates yet, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because one day, delegating will be a task that you will have to learn no matter how you look at it. Okay? In any leadership position, you must learn to not, even I think I'm going to compare it to sports, because even if you are a sports player, you have to be able to delegate the ball. You have to be able to coach and give away some of the tasks that are needed to achieve an end goal. So allow your family members and friends to help take the load off somewhere else where you can learn all you need to learn about your new business endeavor. Do not try to do everything yourself, please. You will get so overwhelmed, and you would just get to a point where it's almost impossible to run your business because there's always new things that you need to learn when starting a new business. But you'll be so focused on getting the small things done that none of that won't happen. And trust and believe you will not be happy with yourself or the outcome of your business at that point, because you'll always find yourself backtracking and trying to keep up and catch up, learn new tricks and tips. I mean, going to webinars and educating yourself and reading and spending time on projects, and those things are very, very, very important when you have a new business. And a lot of times we get so caught up in our new business, we don't pay attention to the trends and the changes in that niche market that we're in, and we miss out on changes and things like that that are happening, and our business fall, below wayside, and we just kind of get off track with things. So make sure you delegate, 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 delegate. Write that down, put a star next to it, put a circle next to it, and highlight it if you can. Delegating, to be able to delegate is a gift. It's a gift that we sometimes don't have. I mean, I love to put together my own slideshows, write my own webinars, present my own webinars, handle my own scheduling, go to work, cook, feed the family, clean the house, do the laundry. Yeah, right. Okay, something is going to fall to the wayside. So be mindful of how much of the work you hoard for yourself. It's important that you let some of it go. Speaking of letting go, let's jump right into letting go. And that's number 5. So write that down. Start letting go. It's important. Letting go. Letting go has been a challenge for, again, 90% of people who become entrepreneurs, because in order to create something new, we need to let go of something. Oh, what do you have that you're not letting go of? Okay. This, again, is an impossible task. Oh, I'm not going to say impossible. It's a possible task that some just say, you know what, I can't let that go. I have to do that. This also goes hand in hand with delegating. You have to let some things go in order to clear the path to creating a new business. Something will fall by the wayside. Your home may need to be a little more cluttered or less clean, especially if you have OCD like me and you want to have your office right at arm's reach and you want to be able to get to everything right now, and you have to have that home office and you set that up and everything is in one room, and it's outrageous because this is just how you have to live. You may have to let go of a favorite sport or activity just for a while, not forever, for a while. But trust and believe it's well worth it at the end, because you're starting a new business. And keeping your day job is important until you are secure financially in your new business endeavor. You want to make sure that you're actually you want to make more than what you're making now with your current position. If you're clearing 50,000 a year, you want to clear at least 70,000 a year in your new business. And you want to make sure that this is residual income, that the income is constantly coming in, that you're making the money to sustain, that you have clients that you can depend on. You don't want one-time buyers. You want to make sure that your clients are constant. You want to make sure that your company is being promoted well, that the information is getting out there, that you're gaining new clients each day. You want to make sure that you're tracking that information. And that's when we'll get into the next presentation, when I talk a little more about automation and how to do those things. Because again, that's not easy. It's all a learning process. And I've taken 20 minutes of your time. Boom. Okay. So we are reaching our 20-minute benchmark, and that's cool, because I wanted to go over a little bit. I gave myself some breathing room, and I promise you I wouldn't go crazy into 30-minute presentation here. So it may be a difficult road to travel when it's time to let go, but having an entrepreneurial mindset is a gift. So once you open it, you will be happy that you did. But keep in mind of the 5 tips that I just provided you today that will keep you aligned with getting started. Don't jump into something that you're not ready for without being prepared. You can follow me for more tips and tools on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn and Pinterest. And you can also follow me on my website at jamillalaurie.com, where I will be sharing a tremendous amount of tools and information on my blog of how-tos, some cheat sheets, some automation tools that you can use. Some cost, some are free. I post up a lot of this information. You do have to be a member of my website to get this information, but becoming a member is free of charge. So I want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you for going through this webinar with me, and hopefully you got a lot out of it, and you'll join me for our next webinar, which will get jump a little more into being an entrepreneur, because being a boss of self is a huge task, and I want everybody who jumps into a venture as such to be prepared. Again, my name is Jamila Laurie, owner and operator at jamillalaurie.com at My Biz Consulting. And feel free to reach out to me at any time via my website, and I'll get back to you to answer questions. I'm also a personal business coach, and I'll be able to walk you through getting started step by step. Like I said, it's not an easy task, and I wish you're the best in all your endeavors. And hopefully you'll take my advice and you'll be off to a great start. Have a wonderful day.